Welcome to the exciting Season 3 of Atomic World Challenge. We have a 14-player room today. We're starting our first parade lap following Bdogs here in his links. Everybody here got their qualifying times in over the last couple of days. You can see a couple of people got moved down to slower cars just because that it wasn't they weren't able to, get things going. So let's move up to Gyraffe. Right now, it's the world. The sky's the limit because I really don't know, how this is gonna end up because it's a brand new season. A lot has changed between one time or the other. So this is going to be quite the season. I don't even know. I have my favorites here, but with the change up of the cars based on how they qualified, it's going to be weird. So we're gonna bear with us here and see where it's at. So, so the first race is here at Seca. If you guys have watched the season before, you would have known exactly what this track is. Okay, so I'm going to move back to who we got here. So I'm going to move back to RPM. He's kind of middle pack here. We had a lot of problems starting out for this race just because of connectivity issues, having a lot of players. It's really good to have so many players in the race because it gives you an idea of, what kind of problems that you're going to run into when you get up to good groups. But I think everybody for all the support when they ran into this, and we asked you guys to come in and bring 14 guys. We asked for 16. We had I think about 22 people qualify for this race. We're going to start this race off on RPM. The other thing is that again the glitch for 7 laps is still available. So we're kind of stuck with what we got, but that's the good news. RPM has already moved up to the 3rd position. Jack into the wall. Gonna move back to Gyraffe again. She's stuck with Gyraffe the first time, huh? Oh, bumping Bdogs. Pushes him back to the straight. It's King Trump takes the position. Sneaky moves up. Part time, I believe, for this race is 129. Little bumping with Geezer there with his Flash GT. The way they're handling is kind of the same as before with the part-time numbers being able to, if you go over a certain amount, you get a penalty for going over the part-time. A lot of guys had to change cars so that they would not be part-time crushers. Because it was kind of tough to some. 129s were like people were being very conservative about the races. When it finally came to the actual race, like they were a lot. We had guys that were like they were competing, so they had like 124s, 123s. So, but then you get guys that were in the Spectre Customs, the Feltzers not curb boosting to get their times because they wanted real times, and you got to respect them for that. So who do we have up front here? We're going to go jump right up to Bdogs. Where is he? He's got some distance between him and he's got Trump knocking on the door there. I'm going to move over. Let's move over to RPM. Oh, so we're 128. So as we come around, let's see where we got times. We're going to follow them right into this first corner here. We can see some people have already taking out their times here. We got Crimmins is up there. So let's see what we got for. So right now, we got Crimmins with a 127, RPM with a 127, Bdogs with 130, Juxury 129. Most below that are 131s. So we're going to jump up to Crimmins real quick. Take a look at him. RPM is just fast. That is, and he's fast. Got a big lean up on his car. We'll move back to RPM again. So what we want to do is we want to, curb boosting is not allowed. So staying on the curbs is. So this group up here is going to be the fast guys, the 127 guys. So we're going to move. Let's move back to. Where's Trump here? Trying to get our bearings here and make sure we following the right people. And there's 33 laps with this race. Solid run here. Catching up with Juxury. Juxury and Bdogs. So there we go. So we're going to move back through the field real quick here. So we got Bros. Let's check out Bros. We're going to go right down the list here. Just check out everybody, see what they're running in. We got plenty of time on this race. There's Agent up there. Somebody that's constantly here, kind of second in charge for this race. So this race is run by Sneaky Gyraffe. Oh, and Sneaky is bumping into the wall. So let's look at Ricky. Ricky, as you know from AWC, has come a long way with this race, and it's really cool to see him. He's got an Elegy RH8 today. A little bumping and rubbing, but he's going to be good. He's got a good car to drive on. So here's Juxury. Juxury's got Bdogs in his sight. And you got Trump. I'm hanging up front. There's Jack. Jack's got his Alpha. Jack took a kind of a smacked back position because he was going way too. He's one of the guys that was going in super speed. And there's Agent. And there's Death Perception. I goes doing Death. He's got a spotter as always. It's really cool. He'll be silent. You won't hear much from him, but and GB200. Tomboy, great to see him back. Another AWC regular. Hasn't been able to have pretty much consistent year like Chewy and Trump did. But definitely good choice in cars. So here we have Bdogs. And he's a regular. He's actually going to be streaming the races when they're actually happening. So we're actually doing the races on Friday. but the actual playback will be the next day. So let's go back up to see how Crimmins is doing. Solid 9F. This was a lot of discussion earlier today about which car to take. Crimmins decided to take the 9F, which was a great car to take. And he's doing excellent with it. Now he's going to have a solid top up here. RPM with his Schwarzer V12. And these guys are pretty much dominating the top. So let's jump right back to Jux. These guys seem to be in the heat of whatever the combat is. The top guys are really just going full speed up here. So who do we got? Bros, Agent. Who's in front of Chucks? Oh, it's the Bdogs. And so let's move. Can we move back to Sneaky and get a good view of this fight? So we're gonna go up to. We got a report of curb boosting. So that's part of our thing, is to be the eye in the sky for the machine. And it looks like he is really pushing it towards the edges. Woo! Throwing that Lynx around. Trying to catch up with him. There's still a lot of distance between. Let's see, what position is he in? So Bdogs in that Lynx with the 129. I mean, there's the RPM and these guys up there. They're just way up there. So let's drop back to Trump. So it looks like he's got some space between him and the next available position. We'll jump up to Agent. These guys are really moving it along, but this is something weird. I didn't expect a lot of separation in the course like we have here. Oh, bros. And who do we have in front of bros? Oh, that's Juxtree. So let's move. We're gonna do a move again through this to the pack here. Oh, Geezer ended up falling back. I expected him to have a lot better showing today than what I'm seeing right now. Geezer's done really well in other divisions. He brought his Flash GT out for the Fukaru setup and did really well with that one. Had some problems, getting into problems with his car as he came around corners and was driving into things. And Jack seems to be Going into the corner here. Taking everybody. And Death dropped. Yeah, Death was having problems today. It looks like he decided to just pull his car right off the track. It's too bad, too, because he was... I want to see him finish stuff. He's one of my favorite racers, and he was doing so well in the first Fukaru setups, and now he's on Atomic World Challenge. Move over to Jux. Juxy's trying to get some sort of placement here. So yeah, you can see here's a lot of par breaches going on. And then there's Agent. I mean, let's move back to 8. Let's see. Yeah, let's move back. Oh, wow. Check Bros, like, just moved up there. So this normally big race back here. From this standpoint, it looks like Bros is just doing big things with this Velier. So we're going to move up to, we're going to do another view on RPM. We'll check out how they're doing back up front. He's actually got some, he's looking at him. They have, these two guys have the best times, 126.8, 127, but so much distance. So that's, I mean, we have to take a look at some of the stuff that's going on, especially with the stuff. And everybody's like, you know, they say things about cutting corners, but guys take those things about like cutting corners and doing stuff like that, and they end up being the fastest. And it's like, see, for Fukaru, it's easy for me because I say, okay, well, you know, they get big time points deductions. Like Crimmins would probably win the race, but his points would be so low because he spent so much time on those corners that that he wouldn't even have, you know what I mean? He wouldn't even have any points left by the time they do it. That's what Bros had a problem with that before when he raced with us. That he got pretty much got no points. So, and that's the thing is it once you got that, that part of it kind of drops off. But now it's like it's So that's the thing is when you do the Fukaru stuff, they get a penalty for it. Like that wouldn't have been curb boosting. That's just running out the outside. I mean, you lose time when you ride that far out. But some of these guys, they're fast and they know how to be fast using the GTA system. There's no way for us to really fix it. Same as the 7-lap part. But that's the thing is that's why some people are faster than other people. And if you've played GTA, you know it. Now, do I think that that's cheating? No. I think in regular races and when you're doing something with when you're out in a regular public lobby, then that's life. People will say that's cheating. I hate to say it. It is what it is. But like when you spend all your time off the track in a true competitive race where they set a par time, they set everything to try to make everything fair for everybody, and you want to say the person that's most consistent with that time is the winner, then that's exactly what the nature of it should be, you know. And I don't want to complain. The thing is, and I have to say it. This is one of the best races. We have the best group. I don't want to complain about anybody here because I like everybody in this race. And I know that's going to sound weird because you're like, well, you're cheating. I'm like, no, I'm not saying anybody's cheating. I'm simply saying they're giving themselves benefits that is giving them the forward momentum that they need. And like you said, with Fukaru, it's, you know, some of these guys have logged up already 6 to 12 point deductions. So I want to make sure that the same kind of fairness is going to be played with this race. So if those guys do want to go full speed, have fun, and do their thing, they have the ability to do it. And the people that are competitive can get the points that they deserve. So Bros is, it's funny, Bros always gets that Velier. He always ends up on Bdogs, and he is hunting him down with that Lynx. We're about at almost at the halfway point now of the race. And I feel like I spent a lot of time here trying to catch up with everybody versus, letting the information slide to the event coordinators more than I'm actually watching some of the race. But this right here is a competition, and I want to stick with it. It looks like he dropped back a little bit. So I'm going to jump up to Crimmins and see how that fight's going on up there. Bdogs drop. Big accident. Oh! Ow! That crash on top of crash. Alright, so we're going to move up to, let's see, RPM. And RPM has been, I mean, he's digging it at Crimmins. Oh, look at this. Wow. Oh, and RPM takes the lead with the Schwarzer V12. Still got best lap. So here's Crimmins and RPM. These guys are fighting it out hard for the lead. They have been up here for a while. So I'm going to look at the par times real quick and let them know. So RPM is a 127. Crimmins is a 126. Bros 127. Juxtree 127. Bdogs 128. Agent 128. Ricky Bobby 129. Geezer 129. Jack 129. Tomboy 130. And Pimp 135. That's our rundown. So Crimmins has taken the lead back. Is that listed off the leads for them? And they're about to, I'm guessing they're going to, he's going to go up on Pimpin' right now for lap traffic. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem for him. Let's see. So we got Bros, Juxtree. I'm going to go back to, let's do Bros real quick. I got to say, from my standpoint, the biggest, toughest thing I deal with is I'm actually listening to these guys while they're talking, and I'm in the middle of a conversation with these guys that are on the line to keep them updated. I'm on the race trying to keep that updated and trying to get discussion with the race itself. So now we have so many people. It's been a learning experience, and it's been a lot of fun right out of the gate. So Ricky Bobby with Agent. And the longer a race goes on, it's usually why I keep it around 20 minutes, is because the longer a race goes on, the more spread you get between cars and the less the competition has with it. And unfortunately, with the way Rockstar has it set up right now, 7 laps is our kind of go-to number. So we have to do the extended laps. So the extended laps in this race is like 33. And that's a lot of laps that we have to get from point A to point B. Oh, Juxtree's up there. So how far away is Juxtree from... So we're going to move back up to RPM. So RPM still has Crimmins in his sights. But he's got some distance. And with the usage of the curbs that he's been using, and just like throwing around the corners, you know what I mean? There's no doubt that he's got the time that he has. Like that right there, like. Crimmins at his current speed will probably start lapping. He's already lapped people. So he's already moved past Tomboy, so he is moving up on Jack. And he's looking down at somebody else. And the farther he moves, the faster he gets away from everybody. That's the other thing. We're trying to gun for doing a little bit different with weather for races too, so that we can really have a really different kind of run that's going to be on all the races. So here's RPM. We're going to just move back through the pack here and see what everybody's doing. So here's Bdogs. You move over to Agent. Look at that. Beautiful car too. I love Agent's setup. Let's check on Geezer real quick. See what he's doing. I love going through all the different racers, checking out all the things that they got going on. Looking at their running styles. I'd love to see this car become like a normal car in the racing. Who's he got behind him? Is that a lap car or is that Jack? Jack's really fast, and he's been back there with that Alpha, driving really well with it. So some of the players right now are trying to determine if they need to reset their cars or if they need to, because that's the thing is with the damage from hitting walls. You know, you could see up there Crimmins is like pretty much destroyed. But do they lean back on their cars and do something different, or then take the space and then come back with a better car? Or I think that's the other thing is with the crashing into the wall, I think that's actually a way to make the car faster. With the bumping of the front wheel, one of the big things that happens is there's damage to the cars, and when you get enough damage to the front, the spring compression causes the vehicle to actually drive faster. You'd be amazed at all the stuff out there. You can spend 2 minutes on YouTube looking it up, and it gets crazy. Hard wall hit. Oh, Ricky lost a little thing. Got back into Geezer and has tightened up everything. I think Ricky's a lap traffic car too, right? No, he's right in it. And that took Geezer back. I can already tell he's not happy. Oh. Let's move back up to Crimmins, see where he's at. Oh, look at that. He's already moved up to Geezer. And that 9F is screaming now because of the... And like I said, I think the damage on the front and some of the spring rate on it has been... Oh, spinning out. So he's still catching up with that group. We're just going to stick with him. He's moved way out, I'm guessing, beyond RPM. Pulling a 125. So that's going to be an impossible time to beat. Jack up there, still fighting his way around Ricky. And we're going to stick to this for a minute so we can see how these guys are doing. So AWC, again, is going to be it's 9 or 10 races total. It's all based on how Sneaky wants to run things, so we kind of just, whatever he's going to do is how he does it. And then what we're going to do is there's going to be I'm trying to hear some of the information about how we're going to do some things, but the other thing is this is going to be so it'll be a 10 race series. It'll be a qualifying race. It's qualifying laps. They're the day before. The races will be held on Friday. We're going to try to do the coverage for Saturday and put everything up for you guys so you can see it and make sure it's competitive. So I'm thinking it's about 9 laps left for this race. And it's been just a Crimmins all the way race. Just a Crimmins crusher is what we're going to call it. RPM. Oh. He's moving up on Ricky. Somebody stopped at the finish line? I don't see anybody. Nope. So let's move. We're going to move back to RPM. See how he's doing. He's back here with Jack. So you can still see kind of that group up there. Oh, did he just bang into? Go back to Crimmins. It looked like he was bumping on. Did he push his way past Ricky, or that's what it looked like? Okay, Bdogs and Bros are fighting it out. Let's go back to them. Yeah, so here's a fight. Bros is not one to give up a position. He's going to fight his way around here, too. They got Geezer that they're trying to catch up with. Long sweeping turns to get around the edge. Remain competitive. Bros is staying outside the line. Using kind of a weird sort of... It's one of the things he was doing when the race that we had was using a weird outside... weird curb boosting line. And Bdog's way off. And he resets. Well, looks like he kind of he must have reset his car. He had to have. So, let's see who we have. Ricky and who is this? This is Crimmins and Pimp. So let's go over to Pimp. Did we not look at Pimp before? I don't remember seeing this car. It was almost like he changed cars on us. There's Crimmins. RPM moving beyond Pimp. So who's next in our list here? Oh, Juxer. I haven't seen Juxer in a while. It's no secret that I love tight racing, and the thing is when racing is moved out and beyond everybody, it's very difficult to kind of follow everything together, especially when, like, you know, that part time has been. I don't know if there's anybody that actually stayed in it. So once you get to that point, it's very difficult for us to kind of see where everybody's at and what's going on. And that's not a 16-player room issue. That's one of those issues. We had this problem with one of the other races. And it wasn't based on the numbers. It was based on basically you got to put it, you got to say the rules way early in the competition. You got to make sure the players know that if they don't stay under that time, that there's no point of them getting any points at all. It's just, you know, zeroing out the points like Bros did for the last one, and not saying that, like, again, not saying that Bros wasn't a good racer, but it's, you know, it puts you in this thing of, like, you want to draw these guys together and have really good competitive racing. Geezer's got a nice line going on. If he can throw that car into the turns and keep that momentum going, if he can keep that car going around the corner, and gets what Geezer had problems last time. So what I just heard is that the only person that isn't in on par is Crimmins, and that just seemed a little weird for me to hear. So 127s, they're all a little low, but we'll see how that works out. RPM's going to have to overtake Geezer here with a little bit of lap traffic. It looks like he's got a little bit more time to make some momentum, but with him tearing through those corners like that, Geezer's staying off the edges. That's gonna his momentum. The shafter is just full speed ahead, you know. And that is a straight line car, crushingly fast. So we got a little more lap traffic here with Agent. Three laps to go. This has been a tough race for me, and I want to apologize to everybody because normally I have a lot of conversation, and on this one, I really had to pay attention to a lot of stuff because there was a lot of stuff going on. So I wanted to take a little bit more time to take a look at everybody, make sure that the competitiveness was there, and make sure everybody was following some sort of ruling system for. And today was a lot of complaints about curb boosting, and it's definitely going to be something that we have to look at for the future races, because it kind of hurts that competitiveness when you have, 1 second makes a huge difference. But again, this is Sneaky's race. This isn't Fukaru. This isn't the Hot Ring Saber race. Crimmins has lapped everybody, I think, in the race, except for RPM, and he's bearing down on him right now. But we're going to stick here with RPM because he's got a lot to lose. Will he throw it all off on the line and just say, let's go for broke and take on Crimmins? And we shall see. He's still got some distance to make up with him, but with the Shafter V12, I think that car's got the speed to get there, and he has to carry that speed to be able to make it to that end. So, Pimp moved up to 4th. Wow. So, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, so it's RPM, Juxury, Bros. So we'll jump back to Agent when they pass here. I'm glad to see we paid my mechanic today. He is really trying to push it. And he is making distance. Like that car's really catching up. And hearing that the only person that wasn't off par was Crimmins, I'm betting that really pushed him to say, hey, I can move this. I can do this. I can take him. And he's definitely gunning him down. And that's the thing, as you can tell, they're throwing it out all on the line. Last lap. A crash. I don't know how that worked out, but and because of the crash, Crimmins decided to back off and let RPM win because he was responsible for the crash. We're gonna move over to Agent. I think these guys are about a lap down. So Juxury is the lead of the group there. I'll move over to Bros. Oh, look at that. Gearing up on. And there he is to finish third, and he jumps out. Now we're going to move back to Agent. An Agent is saying he's going to make it, so that'll be good for him. And there he is, gunning down the finish. Let's go back to Jack. Oh. So who do we have left here? So Bdogs. Bdogs had a rough day today. Spent most of his time up front. Slowly slid down back to the end. And that's how it's going to end. RPM with the win. 2 guys broke par time, but we'll see how things go out for next season. Next race. You guys have a great time. Talk to you then. Bye.